going live in 2. Yes, we can start.
Hello, everyone. This is Attorney Gehi. So we have started the show. And today, welcome to this program brought to you by Attorney Gehi. And of course, the name of our show is Green Card with Gehi. So what are we going to talk about today is very important, especially for people who are Mr. Brilliant, who can benefit from this. Generally, I've seen people who are doing their PhDs, they benefit a lot from this program. And secondly, people who have a lot of kind of publications, people, who've always benefited from these programs. Now, my job is to make the EB program very easy for you, which means the EB-1 program very easy for you. I know it's very difficult to explain people in layman's terms as to what is EB-1, and people get confused between EB-2, EB-1. So I'm going to just first make life easy about what are the requirements for the EB-1. First and foremost, you only have to qualify for 3 out of the 10 requirements of the government of the United States. 3 out of 10, not 10 out of 10. So sometimes people think that it is a rocket science to qualify under the EB-1 category. The answer is no. You just need to be brilliant, which means plus, the other thing is that you need to believe in hard work. So if you believe in hard work, and if you actually are capable of putting in that extra time which is needed, I can assure you'll do well. Why can I tell you this? Is because I've helped people over the years who had reasonably good qualifications, but they worked hard, and we were able to get them to the finish line. And recently, 2 of our clients got the I-140s approved, and one of them already got his green card, and then the other one is waiting for his green card. So let me welcome Suraya Rahman, who's actually from a law firm, and she's our managing attorney, someone who's very, very close to us. And thank you, Suraya, for joining us. So just giving them a brief introduction of the EB-1A. So let me first, run the 10 requirements. Then you and I will go through every single requirement so people understand. We'll have a discussion, and so everyone can participate, and we take the show to the next level. So now, number 1 is, in order to qualify for the EB-1A, you need to meet 3 out of the 10 requirements, and the requirements are as follows. And once I go through the requirements, then Suraya and I are going to talk about it in detail so that you can understand it, and you can either read Suraya or me, and you can, kind of send a email to us, or you can call us. That'll be perfect. Our numbers are right behind the screen for you: 718-263-5999 and 718-764-6911. Others, you can also get in touch with us at suraya@gehilaw.com or info@gehilaw.com. Different emails you can get in touch with us. It's easy to get in touch with us, folks. So, but we prefer emails because it's much better, and it's much easier for us to wrap up things. info@gehilaw.com is our email. So now, 3 out of 10 requirements. Number 1 is evidence of receipt of lesser nationally or internationally recognized prizes or awards for excellence. So which means if you have received a national award, point number 1, that is fantastic. And if you have that, if you have an international prize, you're good to go. Second is membership in associations, distinguished associations, which means those organizations should be very, very difficult. They should actually have a screening process for you before they admit you as a member. Or, people ask me, Mr. Gehi, can you just basically become a member of any organization and get it? The answer is no. You need to be a member of an extremely prestigious association wherein you should be invited for membership. That's the difference between joining an ordinary membership organization and a decent organization. Published material, which means you should be published in your field of endeavor, which means in high-end publications, then that is a fantastic thing. Evidence that you have been asked to be a judge to judge the work of others, which means if you're an expert in your field, you're being called in as a judge, absolutely fantastic. That is great, but it should be a high level kind of a position. It should not be that exactly you just went and you judge some Tom, Dick, and Harry's out there. It's not going to work out. Immigration looks at everything under a microscope. That's number 4. Evidence of your original scientific, scholarly, artistic, athletic, or business-related contributions. Very simple. What are contributions you've made in your field of endeavor that are kind of recognized by prestigious organizations or by top professional organizations? That's what it means. Evidence of your authorship of scholarly articles, publications is fantastic. Evidence that your work has been displayed at an artistic exhibition. Excellent. If you're an artist, you're a painter, your work was displayed, you do the Mona Lisa, you're good to go. You won the Grammy, you're good to go. Fantastic. Evidence of your performance of a leading or critical role in distinguished organizations means that you were that great leader, that you brought about change. You turned the company by 360 degrees. Fantastic. You were written up, your work was written up in the Wall Street Journal. Superb. That's what they mean by that. Evidence that you command a high scale salary. For me, people ask me what is high salary. It depends upon basically your trade and the profession. So for example, in most professions, they're going to look at it. So if a doctor is making 250,000 as an MD, that's not a high salary. If he's a very special MD, 500,000, double. If you're an IT professional, the higher the better. Evidence of your commercial success in the performing arts. Of course, if you're that great film actor, that well-known celebrity, of course, if you've been successful, you've been in the movies, you've done phenomenally well, that is important. But Surya, there's one thing that comes to my mind that's important here. If you realize, one does not have to be highly educated also in order to qualify for this category. There's a big misconception that people think that I need a master's degree or a bachelor's degree. The answer is no. You may not have any qualifications, but you may be the Pablo Picasso. What is the answer to that, Suraya? We cannot hear you. You're not audible. So, all right. So until Suraya comes back, so let me take over until then. So the bottom line is that one does not have to be a Pablo Picasso. You can be like a simple person, which means that you don't have a PhD is fine. Take an example of a well-known actor, a well-known model, a well-known dancer. You've done this great job. You got this Grammy, fantastic. You went for this prestigious award. You are good to go. We've been handling cases like these on a regular basis. That is critically important. And now the important thing for you to know is that sometimes a lot of IT professional comes and asks us these questions. Now, this is important for everybody. Do you need a sponsor under this category? The answer is no. You can self-sponsor yourself, which means you can submit the application, by means of an attorney, submit it, do the right thing, you're good to go. So Suraya, I'm ready anytime you are. You start talking whenever you're ready. And until then, are you fine? All right, I think she's having an issue, but we'll continue until then. It's not a big deal, but so what we are doing over here is that we are looking at your qualifications do not play an important role, but they do depending on the profession you are in. But if you're that great genius, you're fine. Now, sometimes people come to me, they tell me, Mr. Gehi, I am pursuing my PhD. And at this stage, I need guidance. Of course, you'll need that guidance at this time. You need that guidance because doing an EB-1 is a work in progress game. Now, what does that mean? People contact us, not when they have all the qualifications. In fact, a lot of them contact us when they see that I'm literally qualified, I'm falling a little short, but I have ABC, then we start working with you. We look at the problems you're encountering, and then we work with you. And then once if you have those things properly in order, then we submit the application. Does your employer have to know about it? The answer is no. Do you need an employer signature? The answer is no. Need a labor certification? No. Is the priority date current for India and for China and for all other countries? The answer is yes. Is it very difficult to get into this category? The answer is no. But what is really needed is hard work, dedication, perseverance, and tenacity from your end. Suraya, am I correct on this? What is your say on this?
Yes, absolutely. Many people think that they're not qualified, but it turns out when we meet with our clients, they have all these qualifications that they, because they're so involved in their own projects, they don't think they qualify for this. But after speaking to us, we realize they meet maybe 3, 4, 5 of the 10 criteria, and they qualify for this visa. So it's very important that you talk to an attorney. You could come speak to us, and we'd love to go over your qualifications and see if you qualify. And earlier, Mr. Gehi, you were asking me about the educational requirement. I mean, if you think about it, we have the creator of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, he didn't even finish college, right? And someone with his credentials would easily qualify for EB-1. So, the educational requirements are not, will not make or break your case.
All right, so now my other question is, Suraya, this is what I've seen a lot. You can be living in your home country, which means you might be watching this show right now in Japan, or you might be watching the show in India. You might be in Ireland, because we have clients from all over the world. You can start the case from there itself. You don't have to be physically present in the United States to do this. This is how easy you can get. And who are the people who really need to consider this? I can give you people and with real life examples so that at least people understand, you have these great people like who are professors in universities. You have PhD, brilliant people who are just about to get the PhDs, and they've done 8 or 9 publications. What does a smart PhD student do? He plants his career in the beginning, plants his green card before even he's about to finish the PhD. That's what they do. University professors, they're here on a J visa right now. Some of them on an H-1B, visiting professors. They come and they get in touch with us. Other than that, smart IT professionals who are in H-1B and they're stuck in the pipeline because of the backlogs under the EB-2 and EB-3 category from India and from China, they get in touch with us. What do? Some of them already have master's degrees. I'm not even asking for a PhD, masters from the United States, or they have this high command of salaries. They're teaching people, they're lecturing out there. Consider the EB-1. But the common misconception is among the IT professionals is that I have to wait for my EB-2 to be current. I have to be waiting for my EB-3 to be current. The answer is no. End of the day, if you're ready to put in the hard work, you can easily get to the EB-1 and you may qualify for the green card. Now, let's explain everything, to people by means of examples. And Suraya is going to give an example about one of our cases, that we succeeded before the Grammy Award winner. I don't want to take names. So, what were the qualifications of that gentleman, Suraya?
This gentleman, of course, we won't give any names, like you said. So he has played all over the world as part of a Grammy award-winning band. He has, commanded audiences with, huge audiences. He has, his own CDs which have been distributed.
Now look at the CDs that have been distributed. So even if you're looking at the show, you don't have to be a computer scientist, you can be a musician too. That's what Suraya is saying. No, Suraya, we didn't worry about the qualifications here, correct?
Not at all.
For someone who has a master's degree in law or in music or something, the answer is no.
That is not necessary. Right. So this gentleman's EB-1A got approved within, I believe,
4 days, 5 days.
4 or 5 before we even received the receipt notice. We received an approval notice.
Now, this is interesting. People might be wondering, how can that happen? You check it up online. And we were surprised to see that the officer was so good. We applied, he said, this guy is absolutely brilliant. We succeeded even before getting the receipt notice on the case. Prior results do not guarantee future outcome. But to make a long story short, at the end of the day, the planning and execution of the lawyer with the client is very important. But the client worked hard. If you're going to come to us and tell us, Mr. Gehi, you do everything, do not come to us. We need your time. We need your dedication if you want to work with us. That's how we work on these cases. Now, there was another case before that. And this gentleman approached us when he had just decent qualifications. Decent, which means that he had a master's degree. After that, he had a very decent salary. Then after that, we said, Mr. Gehi, let me know what I'm missing and how can I make it up? He promised us that he was ready to sacrifice the weekends so that he could put some time in his academics. And it took 8 months to 1 year to build it. And you know what? He got 2 bites of the apple. One, he got his green card. And secondly, he got a big raise from his company because his academics were better. But at the same time, he got published and he became famous. So remember, if you're investing your time and effort under the EB-1 category, even your company is looking at you. So the good news is that you're elevating your qualifications. You're putting more money in your pocket. Plus you're getting your green card. And if you have it, within 6 months, you can get your green card. 6 to 8 months, you can have your green card. What are the basic misconceptions which I've seen? People with master's degrees here, they're commanding in the IT profession salaries of 300,000, 350. You're already halfway through. But put in some time. We can direct you that exactly either advance your qualifications or work with attorneys who will tell you, okay, are you ready to put in the time and effort? Are you ready to get published? If you're ready to put in that extra time, now what happens? Look at this. Take an example about people from India. All right. 5 years, 6 years, you don't need that. Your wife is telling you, your husband is telling you, this is an aggravation. On the weekend, just put in around 15 to 20 hours of, 16 to 20 hours, you're good to go. And start working on it, start working on the projects. Within 8 months to 1 year, you can have this basically done, depending upon your qualifications. So your time, your devotion is critically important. You work and you can get the results. And to meet 3 out of 10 is not easy because the requirements of immigration are very high. But if you work with the right mentors, I can assure you that you will do phenomenally well. Surya, what would you like to say on that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're willing to put in some time and, with guidance from qualified lawyers, we can certainly get you to the point where you'd be qualified, help you bring out your expertise and your extraordinary abilities. So I completely agree with that. We do have a question from the audience, from the viewers,
Sure.
And that question, if we can go to that question, which
is...
you
can take the question, I'll give them the answer. Yeah.
Sure. So the question is, what are the advantages of obtaining a green card through the EB-1A category?
All right. The biggest advantage is that you don't need a labor certification. You don't need an employer. Number 2, you can self-sponsor yourself and you can qualify for a green card within 6 to 8 months. And you, your spouse, and your children under 21 can qualify for the green card. So even if you are in any part of the world, if you're that famous kind of violinist, if you're that great pianist, if you're that wonderful dancer, if you're that great model, if you're a great actor, if you're that great scientist, and if you're that great kind of writer who's literally gotten a lot of awards, and even if you don't have the Booker Prize, but if you've gotten those major awards, consider this category. You just have to be good in your field of endeavor. You may be a magician who's performed anywhere. Look at the examples I'm taking. You might be a computer scientist. You may be a systems analyst. You may be a program analyst. You may be a famous project manager. You may be a top businessman who has this great startup and you succeeded. Your name was written up in the Wall Street Journal. Fantastic. People have the qualifications, but sometimes they have this fear of the unknown that I don't think so, I qualify. We are here to review qualifications. But if you're ready to do the hard work, then we'll be happy to take up your case. Next question, Soraya.
I just wanted to add, also, those are all great advantages. And one advantage, which we've seen in our experience also, sometimes you'll have an approved EB-3 or EB-2, but you have to wait for a long priority date. As Mr. Gehi mentioned earlier, there's no wait time for this. It's a one-step process if you're in the United States.
Also, another thing is that they are not being held hostage by the employer anymore. Because the biggest fear which I've seen over here is that, oh my God, my employer will revoke my I-140. Nobody can revoke it except you. And your spouse gets a green card, your children get the green card, and you can come to America in 8 to 12 months. And even if you're watching the show in the UK, a lot of clients from the UK reach out to us. They're brilliant. And they say, listen, I'm this fantastic singer. I'm this great performer. Come in. We're waiting to hear from you folks. But show me your album, what you've done in the past. So you can work on it and let you know what you're missing in your album. And the same thing with this great computer scientist. If you're working in Java, you're working in Python, if you're working on MySQL, if you're working on Hibernate, and if you're working on Tomcat, but you're taking it to the next level. If you're that great product developer who's considered to be an absolute genius, if you're into AI, or if you're into development of apps which are kind of going to be world renowned, and you have that following that everyone is running after you, great. Contact us. So you have some more questions, I believe, coming up over here. Yeah.
Yes. So our next question is, the EB-1A is reserved for individuals who have attained extraordinary achievement in the fields of business, education, science, art, and athletics. How is extraordinary defined by USCIS?
Means you have to be a cut above the rest. You cannot be a normal person. Your skill should be special, unique, and extraordinary. Or anything that is beyond the ordinary is defined as extraordinary. Which means you should be among those few people who have risen to the top in your field of endeavor. That's the best way to describe and define the EB-1 category. If you have risen to the top in your field of endeavor, and if you're that renowned personality, you can be an actor, you can be a performer, you can be a dancer, you can be a musician, you can be a magician, you can be a computer scientist, you can be a doctor who has tons of kind of research associated with his name. You can be a Booker Prize winner. You can be a literary expert. You may be a fashion model. You may be exactly an astronaut. You may be a space guru. Doesn't matter who you are. But that's the level of requirement.
Absolutely. So we have some more questions coming in now. The next question is, how can I acquire labor certification?
All right. For that, you need to find an employer. And then employer has to kind of sponsor you for the labor certification. And, then if that goes through, and if you're not from India or from China, the good news if it's approved, then you can file for I-140 and 485 directly and qualify for a green card.
Yes, and as you mentioned earlier, for the EB-1A, you don't need a labor certification. So that's one of the. Okay, next question. What happens in consular processing and who needs to go through it?
Okay, so now take an example of someone who's watching this show under the EB-1 category, and he's in Europe right now, or if he's in Japan or in China or in any of these countries. So what happens is that first we get the I-140 petition approved. Since he is outside the country, people who are outside the country go for consular processing. People who are inside the country and who are legal status, they follow Section 245 of the INA, and they adjust their status in the United States.
Yes, that's correct. It's for people who are outside of the United States. It's the second step of the green card process.
Just one information I need to give out, folks, for people who are watching this show. Suraya used to work with immigration in the past. So, Suraya also has experience being a former immigration officer with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, before she joined us. Of course, she was with us before that. Then she went to USCIS, gained some valuable experience. And then after that, she came back and she joined our firm. So wanted to make that clear that, Suraya has seen it all. So she makes sure that, of course, we cannot guarantee you anything. And we cannot promise you any results, but we can give you a very good kind of direction in your case to make sure that you're qualified. But working for the government doesn't mean that we can get you any special benefits. Let me make that clear to you guys. But the experience that he has can be very handy in assessing of how basically, applications are looked up, by everyone, by good lawyers and everybody in the community.
That's correct. Thank you, Mr. Gehi. Okay, so we have a lot of questions coming in now. Our next question, what are the rules surrounding lesser awards?
Okay, so when it comes to lesser awards, basically what happens is that at that time, you need to make sure that you start consulting with an attorney. You may think it to be a lesser award, but I think this may be a good award for me to use. So it all depends. I don't expect everyone to be a Grammy Award holder. That's a big misconception. You may be having a prestigious award from your country, which is internationally recognized. And you may be having 20 good kind of basically different awards. Like, you got an award from a bar association, you got a big award from a medical association, but it's not something that's a Nobel Prize winner or something. So even if you're below that, the government is ready to consider. But you should be among the top prizes. Take an example, I went to IIT in India. That name by itself is a brand. IIM, that name by itself is a brand. And after that, you work for the Tatas, for example, great company, I have high regard for them. You're the top CEO and you did something great for them, phenomenal qualifications. Plus you are that leader who brought about change. And that's what we are looking at. You're in Japan, you work for ABC company. And that is the biggest company in Japan, for example. And you rose to the top in that company. You hired 2,000 people. The face of the company changed. You are extraordinary. You're that great dynamic entrepreneur. They want to see leaders. They want to see people who can bring about change. That's what America is all about. You may be someone who worked, on COVID medication. You're working, in the field of research. You're working with children. You change the lives of children. Anything that you get us to the platter and you have those accomplishments is the exact word, then you can contact us. I'm not telling you that you should be an astronaut or a rocket scientist. You should be damn good in your field of endeavor. Correct me if I'm wrong, Suraya.
That's correct. And, another example I like to give is, with all this new social media, you maybe have a very large following on a social media platform, and because of that, you are able to get different sponsorships, commanding a high income, and you receive recognition for your influence on social media. So that's another type of category to consider.
Suraya, there's one secret I'm going to share because it's time up. I always like to share secrets in the very end. And this is where celebrities need to be careful. A lot of these top celebrities have started coming to us. You know why? The reason is because we try to work with them under this category rather than asking them to spend $1 million and get the green cards in America. If you are a Bollywood celebrity, or if you're a celebrity in the UK, or in your home country, in China, Japan, in any country, do not spend your $1 million because you already have it with you. Contact us, and guess what? By spending very little money, you'll be able to get a green card. So when all these lawyers are going abroad and giving these big propagandas, like, hey, listen, you're a Bollywood celebrity, you're a Hollywood celebrity. I don't want you to be a top level celebrity. You've been in some movies. You've been in some films. You're Mr. World. You've been a Mr. World. You've been Miss World. You've been Miss Universe. Fantastic. You are second runners up in Miss Universe or Miss World. Fantastic, folks. Don't spend $1 million. This is an easy way for all these people to qualify for a green card. You're this great skater. Look, I'm taking in the example of skating. You won these skating awards. You know, you went to running, you went to boxing, you went to martial arts. America is open for you. You're that great model. You're that great doctor. America is open for you. End of the day, you need to be great in your field. And if you think you're great in your field, there's a very good saying in English, when the great get going, the going gets great. And if you're great, contact us. We'll be happy to help you. So, folks, we need to end this program. Surya, if there's anything you'd like to say?
There's so much more to talk about with the EB-1A category, but unfortunately we are out of time today. So I welcome all of our viewers to reach out to us if you think you might qualify for this category of visas.
What we're going to do, we'll just finish up the questions, and if people have more questions, they can ask us. So we'll keep the floor open for 10 more minutes. So I can answer them the questions, and we'll take, let me take some of the questions over here. Okay. Okay. This is how beneficial is the payment processing? It's fantastic. Recently, the example that Surya was giving you is we filed this case in 4 days, we got an approval, and for the EB-1A. 4 days or 5 days, Surya.
Yeah.
So that's great, but your paperwork has to be super. So then you're going to be good. How beneficial is the premium for increasing the chances? It cannot increase your chances to get a green card. It only helps you to expedite the process. When you go for for the premium processing. How much do you have to pay for the green card? It all depends on your qualifications. Send us an email at info@gehilaw.com. Visit us at gehilaw.com, or you can send it to SURYA, Surya at Gehilaw, SURYA, not SU, be careful, SURYA at gehilaw.com, info@gehilaw.com, or call us at 718-263-5999. And we can also do a Zoom with you. So it doesn't matter if you're in the UK, request for a Zoom, but make sure you have the qualifications and we can talk further. What are the legal motions in case of denial? You can file a motion to reopen, and if that is denied, you may be able to take your case to the federal court. What are the best ways to handle an RFE? Skill of the lawyer is the best way to define that. The skill of the lawyer plays a very important role, especially in responding to difficult RFEs. Go with the most experienced attorneys. Don't take a chance on your RFEs. What are the alternatives of the EB-1A category? EB-2, EB-3? And the sad reality is that both of them are backed up for a lot of countries. Sorry, for 2 major countries, I apologize, for India and for China. But with other countries, EB-2 is not bad. EB-3 may not be bad for you. So, but the problem with the EB-2 and EB-3, except for EB-2, there's an exception for national interest waiver. But other than that, you will need a sponsor. That is critically important. So, folks, any more questions? If you like us, bottom line is just do us one simple favor. Let your friends know about this video. And the difference between us is we try to kind of basically dumb it down is the way we work. So everyone understands us because law is full of complexities. But what I do is I make life easy. I make life simple for the common man. Understand what it entails in order to qualify, you know, for someone to live in the United States. So next time, Surya, let's talk about the L1A and the L1B category. How do you like that? So, you know, we'll do a joint session together. And I hope that our hosts are okay with that. And we are going to cater to the needs of foreign corporations, of how they can establish a branch office in the United States, and how they can basically kind of, you know, become big in America and grow the business over here. So next one is going to be about the L1A and the L1B. And my very special thanks to Tariq, to Sisha, to Priyanjali, and to all the people who make it possible for us to have this show. And if you like us, needless to say, like us on Facebook and everywhere you want, share this video, and basically we'll wait to hear your comments. And don't forget, next week, same time, same place, Green Card with Gehi, with Surya Rahman and Naresh Gehi. And if I'm not there, you'll have someone else, but we'll make sure that Green Card with Gehi is brought to you on a regular basis by Gehi and Associates. The instant program constitutes an attorney-edited judgment. Prior results do not guarantee future outcome, and the information provided in the show is general nature and does not apply to any specific facts or circumstances. And we handle immigration cases from all over the United States and the world. And you may reach us at www.gehilaw.com. Send us an email at info@gehilaw.com or call us at 718-263-5999. Like us on Facebook and on other platforms. And don't forget to share this video. We'll be back again next week, same time, same place, only on Green Card with Gehi. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.